I'm Patrick Bailey with IQlist.com. Today's April 13th, 2022, and in this video I'm going to show a Corgi fridge magnet I designed in OpenScad. Okay, so just a real quick detailed view of what I have. So here's the Corgi magnet, and as you can see, and I'll show a little bit later on as the design, there is a cavity in here where you can drop a magnet in, a neodymium magnet, and of course you can adjust how far it is, the thickness here, to how strong it is. I like a very strong magnet, and there are magnets that are cheaper that aren't quite as strong. I kind of like the depth that I have right now because it makes for a really strong magnet, which is what I like. But there's the Corgi, and we got a little indent here to make it a little easier to pick up, and you can see there's a color. Now you need to make sure, and I'll go over this, that the yellow, in this case, if you're going to use yellow, you need to rather thick, because that black, if you only do it so thick, you're not going to see it very well. And I have an example where it didn't show up too well. But you guys can use it OpenScad, and you can swap this Corgi out for other things. It's easy enough to fix. You can put other dogs or dinosaurs or whatever you want in there. But, you know, there is the details on that. Okay, first some URLs here. So I put this on Printables, and so I'll put a link in the show notes, but here's where this is right now if you want to download it. And also, even though the SCAD is on the Printables, sometimes it's more convenient to get it off GitHub, so the gist is here too, and I'll put a link in the show notes there. And also, it's probably important to know magnets. Here are the magnets I use. They're very strong. I like them. There are some other magnets I've used in the past that are a smaller size, that are cheaper. So these are a little expensive, 24 bucks for a 10-pack, so $2.40 each. So I like them, but, you know, it costs a little bit of money. And then also, for anyone who might be interested, this is the yellow PLA I'm using if you really like that color, and it works pretty good for this color. But there's other yellows out there. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so now with that, let me go open up, do a few things here, and show you the OpenScad. Now, I'm going to go do a more detailed video at some point going over the entire creation process, but this video is just meant to be a little shorter, a little sweeter, and showing how to make some changes to this, because part of the idea of this is, hey, you may have a different kind of dog. You want to maybe you want to make this magnet but slightly different dog, or a dinosaur. How do you adjust that? How do you make those changes? So first, I'm going to assume, just for convenience sake, that we like this size, although, you know, you could make a bigger size. And now when you make a bigger size, there is, oh, you know what, I should have done this before, but let's see if I can do it. It's probably a nice little live thing. Well, okay, I was about to make this see-through, but I'll do that in another video, just to show you that right now, that hole inside of it is the same size. That didn't change, but we'll do that in another video. We'll bring it back to 50. So anyway, there's the Corgi. And now let's just say, if you like this, you're done. But if you want to put something else in there, and I've got some examples over here. I got these dinosaurs. So as someone was mentioning the other day, just for convenience sake, if you're not sure where a file is, you can drag and drop it in here. So here I got this dinosaur. I'll just take this and drag and drop it right here, and you can see, oh, let me put right there. Drag and drop. There is the link to that dinosaur. So I will just grab that whole thing, copy it, and I'll come down here and I'll change Corgi image file equals boom, boom. Stop it. Boom. I can put that whole file in there, and I'll comment out the Corgi. And now we should see this change to a dinosaur. He says, hopefully, oh, how about a semicolon? There we go. Now I got a brontosaurus, but his size is not good, so I'd have to scale him. Here's the scale right here. So we'll make him 0.12. And that might work. Let me see. Actually, I'll make him a little bigger. But now we need to change a few things. So we want to adjust him. And so here's the X and Y adjustments. So I'll say -2. That'll lower him a little bit. And then I would have to adjust the wording. I better not save this. Okay, so to adjust the wording, so I'll come down here and I'll copy and paste this. Boom, boom. I'll comment out the old one, and I'll say dinosaur, boom, and there we go. But now that's too big, so I'll change that font to like a 5. Probably still a little bit too big. Make it a 4. And maybe I want to move it up a little bit, so we'll change that 18 to a 20. There you go. And that crossing sign, same thing, a little big. We'll go down to a 5, and maybe a 5.5. But it's a little too, needs to be lowered, so I'll say negative 27. We'll try that first. Negative 26. Boom. Or 25.5. There you go. So now I have a dinosaur version. So part of my idea behind this is people could easily edit it just like I did and make whatever kind of crossing magnet you wanted. So there's that. And again, I'll make another video more in depth for the whole creation process for those who are interested. Okay, so now let's see. Oh, one other thing. Well, many other things. The next thing is, in fact, you know, maybe I can just save this off. Well, I already got, I don't want to waste too much time. So one thing important, if you're going to do this, is you need to be concerned about the slicer. So I'll go over here and I'll take one of the, I got the wrong thing open. Corgi Crossing Magnet, boom. Okay, so I'm going to go drop this STL file in. So there's the Corgi Magnet. So a couple of things you want to do is, when you slice this, is you're going to want to set some filament change points. So what I like to do, just to make sure my butt is covered, if I pull this all the way to the top here, between those two it'll show you all the layers between those two. So I'll go to the top, come down a few, boom. That's the one where I want to put a change point in, not that one. So I'll say, I'll click on this, it'll make a change point, and you'll have that different color. But also, for sanity's sake, I like to click on this and say edit color, and I'll make it black, just so I can visualize it. Now another thing that's really important here is we also need another change point for when we want to stop it and put the magnet in. So I'll bring this, drag this down, and you can see, if I go down one more, you can see that's where it is, the hole is still available. But in fact, I need to go up one more than that. You can see here is where it's covering the hole. But what happens with these change points is it'll change it out right before this layer starts. So I want to go one above, I don't want to go here. If I go here, it's not going to be high enough. Go one more, hit that button, and then I will, well, I don't need to edit the color here. Well, but we'll make it black, just for convenience so I can view it. So now we got the black, boom. Well, let me back off on that. But now we still have one more problem. I probably shouldn't have made that black. That's very, very confusing. If that's all we did, we got two stop points. You know, get all the way to the magnet, stop. Put the magnet in and keep on going. However, you know, you start black. I usually use black. Go to black. It pops the black out. You pop it back in. Well, sorry, it pops the black out. You put the magnet in, and then it, you know, you put the black back in. Then you continue. But we need a point where we have the yellow. So you want to have several layers on there. So in fact, before I mess myself up and tell you the wrong thing, let me drag an example that I did before in, just to make sure I have enough layers. I think I did 6 layers or so. So here, there we go, 6.95. I'll just use that as a reference. So I'll come down here and I'll go all the way to 6.95. Boom. Right click that, edit it, and make it yellow. Now it doesn't really actually make it yellow, but it helps visualize. So here, I'll end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers of yellow, which I kind of need because that black gets covered up. And then after that, you have 1, 2, 3 of black. And let me drag this all the way down. Boom. Now, if I really want to make it look complete, I could change that orange too. But that orange, I can't change it down here. I'd have to go to filaments, change that color to black, and then now I have something that looks pretty good. Now again, it's just for looks. Then you slice it, and there you go, run it, and you're good to go. Now one thing I've noticed, I need to do a test on this, but you can see up here at the very top layer, you can see some little spaces in between here. So it looks like it might not do it quite as well as I'd like to. I have not experimented with this because what I did is something that I think would fix it, and it turned out well, but I haven't done what I think would be wrong yet. But maybe I'll do a video on that if I can get some time. But if I go to the print settings, here's how you fix it. I think. I know this works, but I don't know if it's necessary. You can go to here, go to print settings, go to infill, and there's enable ironing. And what ironing is, and I've done a video on this before in the past, ironing is kind of a feature they put in there to try to really go a little crazy. It takes a lot of time, but it really flattens out the top surfaces. Now in my case, I'm only concerned with the topmost surface only. So I'll hit that, say we're good, come back here, and I need to reslice it because that changed it. Now at least in the visualization it looks like it's good, and it turned out good. Now again, I don't know if this is necessary, it may not be, it may be a little overkill, but this wording's a little small, so maybe so. But it worked, easy enough, it cost a little more time, but there you have it. So that's what I did, and that's what I like. Okay, so with that, let us go over the details of the print. So this print took 1 hour and 28 minutes to print. It took 1.4 cents with electricity, and here's the key. It weighs 0.038 kilograms. However, that's also with the magnet. The magnet weighs 0.024. You do a little math, you get 0.014 cents worth of material, or 28 cents worth of material total at $20 per kilogram. But now you need to add the magnet back in the price. The magnet costs $2.40, as it is currently on Amazon right now. So total price all in with the magnet is $2.70, of which, all but 30 cents is the magnet. So the vast majority of the cost of the magnet. Now, if you do it like this with the magnet I have, or I'm recommending, it's going to be a strong, magnet. I hate these little wussy fridge magnets, so this is like pretty strong. Now there are some other neodymium magnets that are the same diameter I've used, but are thinner. So in that case, if it turns out those are too strong for you, don't like it, you can adjust this, but then you'd probably want to do some tweaks to adjust the height of where the magnet goes, so that you have it. It doesn't have to be snug, but I don't want my magnet wiggling around in there. So there it is. So with that, we can wrap this up now. So just a reminder that 3D printing is an adventure you're on. You can develop your skills and knowledge and take this in so many ways. You can make a business out of this, you can teach others, and you can make amazing designs. So engineer on. I made a really neat bunny stamp in OpenScad. I took a picture my daughter Kendall drew on my whiteboard and turned it into a 3D printed stamp and put it up on Printables. I'm pretty excited about it, and you should see the results at the very end of this video. I think it would make a great how-to video and something you could have a lot of fun with your kids, turning their art into a fun stamp.